Okay, Shamele.
I'm coming. I just have to spot. I'm not. Am I spotlighted? I am. You guys can see me? Oh, there we go. All right, it must take a second. Hey, Linda, thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. We are so happy to have you here for our first Juneteenth celebration. This is the Juneteenth flag here. Happy Juneteenth, everyone. Make sure you tell everyone happy Juneteenth. I was telling them at the Greek restaurant, just say it's like Merry Christmas. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You say it all week. So what we want to do right now is I want to take you to the home place of Juneteenth, where it all started. And I want to show you this video of a woman who we should all thank, because every year, every single year, for I don't know how long, this woman who is currently 94 years old walks 2.5 miles to reenact the original celebration where they walked from the old courthouse to Reedy Chapel AME Church in Galveston to celebrate emancipation. So give me a second to share with you a video of Mrs. Opal. Are you guys able to see Mrs. Opal?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
To know that it's a unifier. I'm wanting people to understand that it's just not a festival. There's so many more components to it. I'm even advocating that we celebrate from the 19th to the 4th of July because we weren't free in 1776. I'm wanting them to know that there are disparities that we need to address, that we need to be able to get the truth in the schools, in the books, because they're not telling it like it is. We need to be able to have decent housing for everybody. You know, we need to be able, if I've got a job and you got a job, I want to be paid the same as you. And I want to end joblessness. There's enough stuff. We could build brand new cities with all the people who need work. I want our healthcare system to be much better than it is. If I'm at the hospital and you're there and I don't have any money, then I don't get waited on while you do. Climate change. The scientists have told us if we don't do better about climate change, I feel we're going to all be annihilated at the same cotton picking time. So all these things need to be addressed, and we can do it. We can do it together. This business of, I don't know how to say it, except if people can be taught to hate, they can be taught to love. And so each one of you should be about the business of changing somebody's mind. I was with a young fella yesterday and we talked. Before I knew anything, the tears were running. He understood what I was talking about, and they'll understand you when you tell them that it is much better for us to do something together than for us to fight among each other. That's it. That's the same. All right, it is fabulous. The young people will tell you it's off the chain. There's so many ideas of going to initiating for work. I got a building up there that used to be the Ku Klux Klan Clayton, and we're trying our darndest to get it. And all the space on that building where I'm gonna have a mural. I just keep dreaming about it. But what you have here is priceless. And I hope you understand it. And I hope you'll gather other people here and tell them the story. Because holiday. All part of what's happening because go to opalswalkingdc.com, find the link and give us your signature, tell others so that we can take another 1.5 million signatures. Those platforms to forget. We're gonna keep nudging, we're gonna keep walking.
All right, Miss Opal did it, y'all. She did it. All right, that's Miss Opal right there. I think Linda spotlighted, not me. So let's see, what do we have up next? Next, I'd like to just quickly show you the mural that they created down in Galveston. I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see that. Here it is. All right, are you guys able to see the mural in
Yes.
Galveston? So this is a live stream. Can you see that person all the way down there walking? This is a live stream of this mural. See those little people down there? This mural, and I'll have a video on my genealogy quick start site soon, goes from like way in the back all the way. Oh, look at the bird flying by, all the way to the present. We are the future. This is us here, you know, still agitating, doing what we got to do. But that's Galveston. That is the home of Juneteenth. And that's where we got our cool shirts. Y'all like our shirts? Y'all have a chance to win one of these. So let's see. So I want to share with you now how to find your Juneteenth family. So let me share my screen again. Do any of you guys have an idea where your Juneteenth family is? Put it in the chat. Let us know. Where do you think that your family was in 1865? What were they doing? I'd love to hear where you think they're from. I might have some ideas on how you could find them. So definitely, if you know the city, I mean the county and the state, at least the state, go ahead and pop that into the chat and we could chat about it. All right, are you guys able to see my screen? You can see Snow Hill Games. All right, so let me tell you guys a little bit about how to find your Juneteenth family. I think I'm not going to tell you history of Juneteenth. We just kind of went through that. We're going to jump right into, this is the mural. I wanted to make sure that you guys saw the mural, but I showed it to you live. But I want to talk to you about genealogy, really just how to use the records to get back, to find out who that person was on Emancipation Day so you can thank them, so that you could send them some good vibes, thank them for enduring. So here's my cousin Floyd and I. My cousin Floyd Riley actually helped me get started in doing genealogy. So I always want to pay tribute to him. And this is my tumor family from 2000. It's not the greatest picture, but this is our reunion that we had in Vincenttown, New Jersey. There were over 300 people there. It's a pretty great reunion for us. One of our claim to fames as a family, besides having a Heisman Trophy winner, is that my Uncle James had a bar, and Lawnside folks know about the Chitlin circuit and they know about tipping in. And so my Uncle James, he had a bar called Tippin' In. He started it in 1945. He had people like B.B. King and Ike and Tina Turner and all of that. So this is my Uncle James's, all of his brothers and sisters. This is him in the middle. And this is his father, Henry Toomer, and his mom, Bertha Walker Toomer. And they had 16 children. So I'm going to use them to show you how you can find your Juneteenth family. Thank you, guys. I see you putting states in there: Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina. North Carolina is like the dream state. Virginia is the dream state. Woodbury, nice. All right, so let me share with you, and this is kind of what I call an African-American quick start. I am the host of Genealogy Quick Start, so everything's a quick start to me. So these are the steps that I'm going to walk you through very quickly, but I'll have a chance probably in some future time to spend more time doing it with you. But step one is really to do some general US research. Step two is then to search for special US collections that are specific to African Americans. Step three is to review records that you have already for what we call bridge information, and I'll share with you exactly what that means. And then step four is then to search for records documenting enslaved people as well as free people of color, because everybody celebrated on Emancipation Day. All right, let's look at general US research. So the question you want to ask to get started here is, who was living in 1940? I say that because the 1940 is the most recent census that we have available to us to research. The 1950 census will come out later this year. So think about who was living in 1940 and what the household looked like. Was this person a child living with their parents? Were they an adult with their husband and children? What did the household look like? You want to then take that information and search the 1940 census and see what you see, find them, and then you want to work your way back 10 years at a time, because that's how the census come out, every 10 years. If you hit a hiccup, excuse me, which happens, you want to use vital records like marriage records, death records, divorce records to see if that can help you. And then you want to continue searching the census. So here we are in 1930, and this is a census record showing Henry Toomer and his wife Bertha, his children, and he has a grandson down here that happens to be my grandfather. It tells us that he owned his home. His home was worth $800. And then it tells us his sex, his race, his age, whether he was married or single, how old he was when he got married, whether they could read or write, where they were born, where their father was born and their mother was born. So you can see he was born in Georgia, as was his mother and his father. And the children, if you look at the children, you can see a migration pattern, right? You can see a migration pattern. They first had their children in Florida, then they had children in Pennsylvania, then they had children in New Jersey. So that's how census records just give you so much information. Then you go to the 1920 census. So here he is in Philadelphia, him and Bertha. And if you turn your head to the side, you just have to cock it to the left a little, you can see Nectarine Street. That's where they live, on Nectarine Street. So they had less children. At that time, he's a renter. And you can see some of the same information, age, where they were born. And so another record that's really good to look at is World War I and World War II draft cards. And so this is one of Henry Toomer, just giving you some extra information, like when he was born, where he was living, where his nearest relative is. And this is great because you get to see their signature there. It also, and it gives you information about their stature, like their height and their color of their eyes and the color of their skin. So I just we continued, my cousin Floyd and I searching the census. He actually found this one here. This is my Henry's mother, Lucy, okay? We knew that his mom's name was Lucy. So we found her as a cook. We had some problems finding him in 1910. I think my cousin Floyd actually eventually found him, but here we have some great information about his mom. What's cool about 1910 is they say the month and year of birth. So we know that Lucy was born in May. It tells us that she was married. She's the mother of 2 children. Only one of them are actually alive, which was Henry, which I don't even know who that first kid is. Like, I'm dying to know. So here's a marriage record from 1900 of Henry and Bertha in Duval County, Florida. Marriage record, this is a marriage register. So we never really had an actual marriage record, but we have them in a register. So here it's showing Henry Toomer. It's showing that he was a laborer. It shows that he was born in Georgia. And then it has that he is 30 years old, and it has Bertha, and then it has her information as well, that she was born in Florida, etc., and her age. So then if we keep going back and going back, this is an 1870 census in Houston County, Georgia. So this shows Lucy, who was Papa's or Henry's mother. She's 13 years old. And she is with her brothers and sisters and her parents. So her mother and father are William and Caroline. Then she has siblings, Alec, Frank, Mary, and then it's her. Now, we don't know for certain from this record that these are her brothers and sisters and that this is her mother and father, because it doesn't say it in the census record. So you want to be careful. And it also shows where they were born. So I just want to give you a caution when you're doing the census record. There's an important rule to know in genealogy. Spelling does not count, okay? You cannot depend on spelling, because look at my ancestor square. His name, they named him, they had it as Squire, then they had it as Square, then they had it as Snare in 1900, then 1880 he was Benjamin, in 1870 he was Square. So you gotta realize spelling does not count. All right, so I got back to 1870. Now I want to talk to you about some special US collections for African Americans. Freedmen's Bank, free online at Family Search. Freedmen's Bureau, free online at FamilySearch.org. United States Colored Troops, slave schedules, and some religious records. I'm not going to have time to go through all of those with you, but I want to just share with you a slave schedule. A slave schedule does not show the names of enslaved people. It only shows the name of the slave holder. And we knew that possibly Henry Toomer might be the slaveholder. So here's a name of Henry. We can see first at the top, it says where it is. We're in Houston County. And it shows that his name, it shows the number of slaves at this age, this sex, and this color. So there is one slave, age 30, male, black. And they have a column to talk about whether or not they had some impairments or issues. And so also they have how many slave houses there were. So this looks like there were 12 slave houses on the plantation. So that's one of the records. And the other, step 3, after you pull as many of those records as you can, step 3 is then to review the records that you have, because you need to use that information, which is bridge information, which gives us a bridge from freedom back to enslavement if you're looking for enslaved people. So these are the type of records that I'm suggesting that you go ahead and take a look at. I'm going to share with you a Freedmen's Bank record. They opened this bank originally to have a place where the United States Colored Troops could deposit their pay and cash their checks that they got from being in the war. This is an example of a record of Ephraim Atkins, and it shows a lot of really cool information. It shows who his parents are, Hester Mills. It shows who his children and his wife is. It shows where he was born, where he's living. It also shows who his siblings are, any additional remarks. So I encourage you to definitely take a look at Freedmen's Bank records that are free at Family Search. Also, the Freedmen's Bureau, they had what they called rations applications. So during the Reconstruction, the federal government provided rations to the formerly enslaved to help them and to help them to make it through the seasons when they signed labor contracts. So this is an example of a labor contract of one of my ancestors. And really, they're just kind of listing the family at the bottom and their name and their ages. So the Freedmen's Bureau records are free at FamilySearch.org. So step 4, after you've looked at your records and you pulled out what could possibly help you to move forward into these very difficult records, you want to look at all of these different types of records. You find people, enslaved people listed in all of these type of records: deeds, tax records, wills, estate records, manumissions, pension records, just so many of them. I'm going to share with you a deed, a slave deed, which is my family's prize collection in our, like we have this framed in our homes. This is an 1858 slave deed that my cousin Floyd found. And in it, this deed says, also a Negro woman named Caroline and her 4 children. Caroline, about 28 years old, of yellow complexion. Alexander, a mustee, about 6 years old. Frank, a mustee, about 4 years old. Mary, a mustee, about 2 years old. Lucy, a mustee, an infant. That Lucy is my Lucy. And it says, I warrant the above Negroes, I warrant to be sound and well in body and mind, and to be slaves for life. To be slaves for life. And this is Lucy. This is Lucy listed on here as an infant with her siblings and her mother. And so that was the answer to my question of where were my people during Juneteenth. Lucy and Robert Jackson were probably in Houston County, Georgia, and they are the parents of Henry Toomer. And so that's the quick start on how you can figure out where your Juneteenth family were by doing general U.S. research, primarily census records and vital records. Then you want to search those special African-American records free on FamilySearch.org. Then you want to do step 3, which is to review your records for bridge information. And finally, you want to search records for enslaved people and free people of color. So now it is your turn to find your Juneteenth family. And guess what? I have some shows that might help you out. Genealogy Quick Start at genealogyquickstart.com. And here are some episodes that I have on there. Tons of episodes on there that can help you, not just these episodes, but these are specific episodes to African American research. We go live every other Thursday at 3 p.m. So that is how you can find your Juneteenth family. So Natasha, can you spotlight me? All right. Hi. Was that helpful to you guys? You guys ready to go find your Juneteenth families in North Carolina? And where else you guys say? Virginia and Maryland. Oh, South Carolina. Got South Carolina in there. Oh, Savannah, Georgia, and Bluffington, South Carolina. Love it, love it, love it. You guys have some really good states there to look up. Ooh, what's that little window? Is that me? All right, so let's get ready to, can you spotlight me and Elaine Higgs, Muneerah Higgs? I'm surprised that says Elaine. So guys, you ready to learn some Lawnside history? It's time for, without further ado, Mrs. Higgs from Lawnside Public School. I got to tell you, we had a ball down in, is this something I need to do, Natasha? Okay, there we go. Oops.
I lost the spotlight. 1 second.
No problem. So yeah, let me tell you guys, when we went down we were in Lawnside Middle School, that's how these postcards came up. We were in Lawnside Middle School for Black History Month to share history with the youth. And Mrs. Higgs had not been back to that school in many years, but she was so welcome. The students were just alive. They were just excited and engaged. And we also noticed that their parents, the former students of Mrs. Higgs, started attending as well. And what happened then is they started engaging in the class, asking questions and everything else. So that's why we figured it was probably a good idea for us to have the grown folks edition. So is something wrong?
Yeah, I can't turn off your spotlight.
I
So-
never was spotlighted. You're actually on spotlight now. So give us a second and we'll get started with Mrs. Higgs. Maybe it's a
Let's have
YouTube
her just
live
start
thing.
talking, and then she'll have all the spotlight. She'll have.
Oh, okay. So Mrs. Higgs, without further ado, we'd love to hear your top 6 cards.
All right. Welcome back to Snow Hill Games Grown Folk Edition. We really need this. Guys, when I talked to the superintendent at Lawnside School, I said, the kids need to learn the history of Lawnside. I'm going fast because I don't have a lot of time. So, and I said, the kids need to learn it. He said, well, the adults don't know it. I'm saying, well, duh, they need to know it too. So what a better way. We're the griots of the town, the older people of the town. We have to pass this information on because Lawnside is changing. And so we need to take this information and give it to the children and continue to study it because you're only getting glimpses of things right here, okay? So welcome to my classroom. And just real quick, we talked about some names of the town last week. So remember that for the Kahoot game, some of the names of the town. We didn't talk about Quaker involvement. Can you spotlight me or something? But anyway, we didn't talk about Quaker involvement. You have to get the cards, okay? And we did not talk about this map right here of 1844. Get the cards. But we did talk about this young man right here. His name is Jacob C. White, sir. And what he did for Lawnside, he got that plat of land and they built the school. And then we talked about Mount Pisgah Church last week. I'm backwards here, I'm sorry. It's better when I'm spotlighted. But anyway, we talked about Mount Pisgah Church and why they were important, and they broke away from and became the African Methodist Episcopal Church. And I snuck Jarena Lee in and wasn't supposed to be doing her, but she's buried at Mount Pisgah, and she was the first female preacher. And Elisha Gator, we didn't talk about him, but he's one of the cards. You have to get the cards, okay? And we talked about Mount Peace Cemetery and why it was important also. Last but not least, we talked about the Lawnside Park, and we said it was famous because of its famous barbecue. Okay, and then we talked about the Red Cross also, and Dr. Roscoe Moore. All right, so starting out tonight, I'm going to begin with Mount Zion United Methodist Church, okay? It was organized in 1825. It began, remember we talked about how Richard Allen came in and he wanted to change the Mount Pisgah to the African Methodist Church, but there were 12 members. There were 12 members that did not want to change. So they went about to form their own church. On March 2nd, 1828, Mr. Joseph Jennings sold the trustees a tract of land. And it was a small cabin on Davis Road, over there where Lowe's is, okay? But it was destroyed by a fire. And then after that, four other churches have been built besides the one that's presently there on the White Horse Pike. It's listed as historic site number 174 with the United Methodist Church Archival Directory. So it was an offshoot of Mount Pisgah Church, okay? The next one we want to talk about here is this gentleman. Look at him. His chest is laden with medals. This young man here is buried at Mount Peace Cemetery. And I told the kids, when you want to know about courage, you look at John Lawson. He was a Civil War soldier and a Medal of Honor recipient. He was born June 16th, 1828, and he died June 6, 1919. Now, we talked about how there was no place to bury the African Americans. So there you go, John Lawson. They had to bring him here to Mount Peace Cemetery. He received his Medal of Honor because he got hurt. He was on the ship and he got thrown up against the bow of the ship and he hurt his leg. And they wanted to take him to sick bay. And he was like, oh no, but if we get hurt the least bit, we want to go lay down or go to the doctors, but not this gentleman. He was very courageous and he continued to fight. And this is why he received the Medal of Honor. He was also a barber. He was a cook. He was a laborer. And he was a member of the USS Hartford Delmonico Society. That is Mr. John Lawson, and his grave is out in Mount Peace Cemetery. Talk about courage. Some of these people, we need to say their names, just like we're saying about other people, because these people are famous here for Lawnside. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about, any questions about Mr. Lawson? Anything? Okay. Maybe at the end. The next, I want to talk about the Lawnside Fire Company, okay? The volunteer fire company. Now, this building here is at Mansion Avenue and Hodges Avenue. Mansion Avenue is now Warwick Road, okay? I believe this is the first fire hall that they built, but even before Lawnside had a fire company, what they did, the people in the town would get buckets of water, brooms, and whatever else they could find, shovels, whatever else they could find to put out fires. And they would run and put out the fires. But the first alarm system was a big round hoop. And they had a sledgehammer on a string. And when they pulled a string on the sledgehammer, yay! They pulled the string on the sledgehammer and the sledgehammer would come down, boom, and hit the hoop. And people all around could hear the sound. Now they had one on Emlyn Avenue and they also had one down on Ashland Avenue. And during that time, there wasn't a lot of traffic. So, you could hear it throughout the town. The fire company was organized in 1914 and they held meetings at the home of a Mr. Hebron on the White Horse Pike. They raised money. They wanted a fire hall, right? So they started raising money. They had carnivals and ox roasts and all kinds of dances and parties. And so they raised the money that they needed. But then they had the fire hall, but they didn't have a fire truck. So a surrounding fire company gave them an old horse-drawn buggy with some ladders hanging on it. But of course, it never really answered any calls. The fire company finally got a fire truck in 1917. I'm sorry, in 1919, they got their first fire truck. And then in 1934, they finally purchased a new truck. The fire company is located now on Douglas Avenue, Shipley Road. Remember, did we talk about that? Shipley Road, or now it's called Martin Luther King Street. And the members of the fire company are Michael Harper, Frankie Harper, Mark J., Joshua Whetstone, and Eric Lewis. And Mr. Sidney Whittington, he was a chief for many years, okay? And the fire company continues to be a part of the community. If you're out around Christmas time and you see Santa Claus flying through the town on the fire truck, that's some of their community involvement. So we came a long way. So I taught the kids, I said, this is persistence, hanging in there, keep on trying, and you can get where you need to go. So that's the Lawnside Volunteer Fire Company. Question? All right. So what was the first alarm system, anybody? The big what? Hoop with the sledgehammer, remember that, okay? All right, now this is a special postcard here. This is a special piece of information here. The lady that you see in that picture is Miss Ellen Benson. And standing next to her is our former mayor, Mr. Hilliard T. Moore. And these are some kind of postal officials. And I think they're having a ceremony to open up the post office. The building on the other side is the first post office. But let's just talk about the beginnings of the post office. Now, we didn't really ever have, we didn't have back in the 1800s, there was no post office. What would happen is a man would go into Haddonfield and he would be getting groceries and vegetables for the people of Lawnside. And if there was any mail, he'd go to the post office there and he'd bring it back and he'd take it to Mr. Samuel Dighton's store. And the people would go to Mr. Dighton's store and pick up the mail. But the first post office was established in 1893. There were many postmasters, Mr. Spencer Moore, Melvin Jack, Mary Jackson, Helen Moore Davis, just to name a few. And this small building was built in 1942, okay? Now, Miss Ellen Benson became the postmaster in 1957. Now, let me tell you about this special lady. We need to say her name, Ellen Benson, because, all right, so back then, when Ellen Benson was the postmaster, I might be getting it wrong. She might correct me here some way.
She's here. She got her eye. She peed. She listened. She listened real hard.
Let me say. So you used to have to go to the post office, this little building, to pick up your mail. And everybody had boxes. And so you had to go to the post office to pick up your mail. So the town was growing and people were coming from other places, according to Miss Benson, if I'm quoting her correctly, people were used to getting mail delivered to their homes. They were like, what is this? You know, we going to the post office to pick up our mail. So I think she ran a campaign to raise money to have a delivery, to try to get this delivery started. But what was phenomenal about this lady was that she developed the numbers for the houses in every house in Lawnside by walking up and down the streets of every street in Lawnside, putting numbers on the houses so that we could have a mail delivery system.
With her children,
Yes. And in 1969, we began a mail delivery system in Lawnside. Say her name, Ellen Benson.
Ellen Benson.
That's right. A phenomenal lady. So presently the post office is at Emlyn Avenue and Warwick Road. So we're proud of this lady. All right. Who was the, let me see. All right, moving on here. Next one, I want to talk about this church right here. This is Grace Temple Baptist Church. Now it sat on the highest hill. It was the highest place in Lawnside. I don't want to go over this too much because this wasn't included, but it was a fire at the church, and the minister in the church ran back in the church, saved the Bibles in the church. There's a little story behind it, but you have to get the cards to read about what happened at Grace Temple Baptist Church. Okay, the church on the hill. All right. Now, this is about the school system, Lawnside school system. All right. Now, educating children has always been a priority in Lawnside, but the first formal education was in people's homes and in the churches. People learned how to read the Bible. Basically, that was it. But you remember that gentleman, Jacob C. White, sir, that gave the plat of land for $1, and Mr. Boyer and the Quakers built the Free Haven School for colored children in 1848. So that was the first school that was built. Then around 1900, a 4-room school was built on Brown Street. I'm pointing like you guys see it. But anyway, on Brown Street, a 4-room school. Now this here is Lawnside Meadows. It's now a senior citizen building now. And look at the young man. He has a tie on and he's all dressed up. I remember going to school. You couldn't wear pants to school. So, you know, until maybe 3rd or 4th grade, we started wearing pants to school. But anyway, so they built the 4-room school. And then after that, around between 1915 and 1918, another 4-room school was built, but it had a basement to it also. All the kids went there, kindergarten through high school. All of the students went there, okay? And then they developed an industrial school. The industrial school taught the boys how to make harnesses, repair shoes, and the girls learned how to sew. And they were also housed in that 4-room school. So after they built the school, they built the 4-room school and they added a basement. That's this school that you're looking at. Of course, they had additions on it after that, but it was a 4-room school with a basement, all right? And all the children went there from kindergarten through 8th grade. Now, it got crowded in that school. So in around 1976, the Board of Education deemed it necessary to build a middle school down here on Charleston Avenue. So they built the middle school on Charleston Avenue around 1976. Then what happened was the attendance dropped at the elementary school. So then the Board of Education deemed it necessary to bring all of the children down to the middle school. So now it's Lawnside Public School and all the kids go there. And this building now is the Lawnside Meadows Senior Citizen Complex. They have pre-K through 8th grade at our school here. It's a phenomenal, the kids get a very good education here in Lawnside. So through persistence over time, we've always fought for a better education in this town. Okay. And
So there was a question about the school.
yeah,
The one pictured, when was the one that was pictured was built? Because it's bigger than 4 rooms.
yeah, they added on to it. That's the original, that's not the original structure.
Oh,
That
gotcha.
added on eventually.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions about that? All right. What was the name of the first colored school in Lawnside? You got to remember that. Okay, I'm telling you. So anyway, I didn't talk about the police department much because we have a lady. I just want to tell you a little bit about this lady. She was the first policewoman. Her name is Doris Scott. Doris Scott prided herself on taking care of children. And she told me, she said, I didn't lock up the children. I spanked them and I sent them home and they all love me today. I can truthfully say that. And Miss Scott, if you knew this lady, you knew a lady of character. And she never hurt anybody's children. She spanked their butts and sent them back home instead of locking them up. But she was a first policewoman on the police force. But you got to get the cards to get all the information about her. This is our Chief Brewster, Charles Brewster. Miss Scott gave me this card. What's interesting about it is, look, she wrote a recipe on the back of the card.
Oh
It
my
looked like
goodness.
she was making a cake or something. I don't know.
Some sugar.
She wrote a recipe, and that's Mr. Brewster. He was the chief in many years in Lawnside. And yes, somebody had a question there. But anyway, this is the basement to the 4-room school. And you see Mr. Kelly, he was the principal. There's the cafeteria was down there. They had assemblies down there. It was the lunchroom. It was Dr. Moore's office, the one that gave me the vaccine. Yeah. So everything went on down there and we're sitting there. That's my class. And these pictures came from the Lawnside Historical Society's calendars. I want to give that credit. And we were down there, looks like kindergarten and 1st grade, waiting to get our pictures taken. But everything went on in that basement. You see the cafeteria ladies in the background there, waiting to get the lunch together. Yes. And we couldn't talk about Lawnside School unless we didn't talk about this lady, but we had to get the card. Edna Jackson J. She was a lady to remember. She was involved in the school, the churches, and everything else here in Lawnside. Last but not least, I just want to say that, you know, I can't not say anything about this person, these, the Lawnside Historical Society in Piedmont House. You know, it was built in 175 years, over 175 years old. He was a agent on the Underground Railroad, helping escaped Africans to freedom. But the Lawnside Historical Society was formed to save the house. And so they worked so hard. And this is a story Mr. Still told me. He said they were going to tear the house down. So Linda and Miss Artis, Mr. Conaway, her sister Chris, They fought for 2 years against Narberth Construction Company to get the house. And finally, Mr. Still said he went down there one day and there was a bulldozer down there getting ready to bulldoze the house over. And he stood out there and he said, wait, stood in front of the bulldozer and asked him to give him a couple more days. Well, that couple days turned into 2 years. And finally, after 2 years of hard work and back and forth with the borough and Narberth Construction, they finally gave them the Peter Mott house. You know, these people work tireless to keep our history alive. And we need to say their names too. Linda Shockley and Chris and all those people.
Definitely.
Linda
Shockley.
Yes. Did I say, what did I say? Yeah.
Linda Shockley.
Yes, I'm sorry if I messed that up. Yeah. So, and one more little piece before I come off of here. I would be remiss if I didn't mention, Shamele, I just want to thank you so much for bringing me back to Lawnside School, because I vacillated about it for so long. And when you came and said, come on, Muneerah, let's do this, I was like, okay, this is time. I just want to thank you because it was a dream come true. When we got there with those kids and they started doing all kinds of projects with the challenges, the kid, they did emojis, they did, one person did a picture of Jacob C. White, sir, beautiful drawing of him. These kids did a video. Let me tell you how history comes alive, and I get excited. But these kids were trudging through the snow, going to the Peter Mott house. And one of them looked at the other one and said, well, where are we going? What are we doing here? And she said, we're going to stay here tonight. And she knocked on the door of the Peter Mott house, and it went to black. It just touched me.
It was a very, I think I cried every week. We pretty much cried every week because
one kid did a comparing that 1844 map with the present day Lawnside. Critical thinking skills here. I'm talking about, this is what these kids were doing. Then one kid stood in front of Grace Temple Church reporting live about the fire and the minister that was saving the Bibles.
oh, he was Clarence Still too, standing at the house. Remember he did
In
that?
front of the house, like, you know, it was just history coming alive. And I was so excited. It was such a beautiful experience, and I'm getting too emotional. But that's
Oh, it's okay. We had a ball. It was.
thank you all. Thank you all for coming, and please don't let this history die. You know, we need to.
Thank you, Mrs. Higgs. You're a treasure. You're a treasure. I knew you were before we hit the school, but seeing the reaction of the kids, they were just alive.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, guess what time it is? It's time for you to show Mrs. Higgs that you was listening. It's time for you to show Mrs. Higgs that you had Lawnside history up. So in the chat, for all of you who are here, I put, and I guess I have to put it again because we've been chatting. I put in, all you have to do to play the game is on your phone or device, go to kahoot.it. And this is for the people who are on the Zoom, because the people who are watching live on YouTube, I'm sorry, you had to be in the room to play, but we want to allow you to watch. So those of you who are in the Zoom room, please get ready to compete for prizes. Go to kahoot.it. And in the chat, there's a number that I can't say out loud. It is a 7-digit number. It's a special number for you. And oh, I already have some people in here. I love it. I love it. Put your names in there. You could put your game name in, and you could put you just have to, you know, let us know who you are at the end so that we can make sure that you get your prize. So we only have 2 in here so far. Thank you, Tranquil Kina. You got a good name now. All right. We got Bonnie in there. We have Alicia F. We have Agent Rooster 44. We have
Wait, there I go again. Where it says game pin, what I put in?
This the number that's in the chat. I can't say it out loud.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't say it out loud. Can you see the number in the chat?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Who else? We have Rose is here. Bonnie's here. Are we waiting for anyone else? Come on. I know there's more. You guys who want to win an underground. Look at these cool t-shirts. I know you guys want one of these cool t-shirts. Underground Railroad t-shirt, a Juneteenth t-shirt. These come from Galveston. These aren't just something you're going to buy off of Amazon or go down the street and, you can't get these here in Jersey, but we got them for you when you win your prizes. Let's see. Morningstar is here. Bobby's here. Welcome, Morningstar and Bobby. Anyone else coming in? Naomi, are you going to play with us? Oh, let me unmute y'all so y'all can talk. Is there a way to unmute? Oh yeah, unmute all. Can you guys unmute yourself if you want me to be able to hear you?
Yes,
we
I thought we had to be there presently to play.
You are here.
I don't,
So I don't have to be.
wait a second. Wait, let me write it down. Give me a
Hey,
minute.
I hear the winner talking. She writing the number down.
All right, I'm not the winner, but I want to win. Hold on one second. Let me get it so I can put it in.
All right, that's the number. Y'all get that number in there.
It says, see your nickname on screen. What screen do I see it on?
Oh, you create a name. Create a
I got the name.
So then
Wait a-
just type it
Down
in.
at the bottom of the screen, it should show your name.
Yeah,
Hold
it
on.
does.
Second. Almost, wait.
That's okay. Oh, there's Natasha. No, Natasha's in the room. What else we got coming? Come on, y'all. Come on,
Where
y'all.
do you type the number?
It says pin.
Oh, where did you say you typed the number?
Where it says pin. History Maven. Sound like History Maven here to take it all.
Where the hell? Oh, enter pin. Oh,
Looks like History
no.
Maven.
no, where are you?
It's okay, Marsha. We're gonna wait for you, girl.
But I don't know where I put it.
What, the number? You don't know where? I thought you said it said enter pin.
It does, but I see what I have to do. I have to go to Kahoot.
Is that my student, Alicia Fink?
Where is okay, wait a second.
Yes, it is.
Alicia, show your face.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And who is the cat
Let's
lady?
see.
Is that Farron?
Oh, here it is. Okay.
Yes.
Hi,
all right.
Hi.
Getting ready.
Hello.
All right. Anybody else? Who else are we waiting for
All right.
besides Marsha? Come on in
Typing
now.
it.
We can ready to get going.
Okay, almost. I got 4 more.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we
Hi,
have 8 people.
Alicia.
Smart Possum. Is that you, Marsha?
Yeah, I'm the slowpoke.
You Smart Possum. At least you here.
Oh,
Am
no.
I waiting for
Shamele, do
anybody
you
else?
see me?
What's your name?
Yoli?
Okay, I'm the
I
same.
see Yoli. We have Smart Possum,
Okay.
93. We have History Maven, Natasha, Bobby, Rose, Yoli, Salad, Rose.
That's me.
Bobby, and
I didn't know what to do to get
Peanut.
on. but
We have FCC.
Wait.
Uh-oh, the FCC's here, y'all. FCC. I
Okay.
told you, Natasha, they was keeping an eye on us.
Now, how do you? Oh, okay, I see my name. Yes.
All right. Am I waiting for anyone else?
Now, once I see my name, then what?
I'm just waiting. We'll get started with the game.
Okay.
Am I waiting for anybody else? All right, we're gonna get going with Kahoot.
Oh, never mind. They're getting.
No. Go ahead. No, we want you to play, Mrs. Benson.
Oh,
You playing, Benita?
All right, what do you want me to do?
Yes.
Okay.
see, I don't know what to do. That's all right. Go ahead without me.
Are you sure? Is Bethany here? We can't be leaving you, Mrs. Benson. You
Yeah,
on the
but-
card. I
Yeah,
don't know if you could
that's
technically play.
Bethany's not right here.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. I'm enjoying watching you.
Okay. All right. Don't yell out no answers though, Mrs. Benson.
Okay.
I remember Pudge's mom used to always do that. She wouldn't play. Oh, I don't want to play, but she would yell out all the answers. Okay. I'm going to start the game. Hold on. I got to figure out how to do this, Natasha. Oh, they won't have enough time to see it. Okay. Sure. Let me share the screen. And it's going to be quicker. It's not going to be long like it was when we was practicing. I hope y'all are preparing. All right. Let me see how to do this. Okay. I'm going to share the screen and then quickly. I don't know what's going on. Give me a second, y'all. All right, let's see, share my screen and share Kahoot. Share. All right, you guys can see Kahoot?
Yes.
I just see that this says I'm in. That doesn't, I don't
All right,
see
let
any.
me start. Okay, we starting the game. You
All
guys
right.
get ready. Here we
Ready.
go. There we go. All right, you guys can see the game?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, what were some of the names given to Lawnside throughout history? Was it red, Goodens Hill, blue, Farmers Field, yellow, Snow Hill, green, Free Haven?
Oh, shoots.
Oh, actually, I'm giving y'all longer time than I gave y'all the last time because y'all was fussing at me.
Oh, I see.
There's more than one though.
All right, the answer is Free Haven and Snow Hill. Any of you, all of you got that right. You guys are listening to Mrs. Higgs. Let's see. Yoli is on top, followed by Rose, Bonnie, History Maven, and Salad. All right, next question. Who was Peter Mott? Red, a plumber.
Stop
Blue,
talking.
Underground Railroad. Red, yellow, pastor at Mount Pisgah. Green, Lawnside historian. Who was Peter Mott?
I didn't even hear it.
Repeat the question because we couldn't hear you.
Echo in.
I'm gonna have to mute everybody or something because somebody's echoing, and when I read the question, everybody has to be quiet.
Right, because I couldn't hear it.
All right, let's go. We're gonna practice on the next one. When I say next question, that means quiet. All right. All right. The answer is that Peter Mott was a conductor on the Underground Railroad, and I know we all had an issue because you couldn't hear me. So I'm gonna do next just to see what the board looks like. The only state the board didn't move. All right, let's move to the next question. What was the name of the first historic church in Lawnside? Red for Grace Temple, blue for Chapel of Annunciation, yellow Mount Pisgah AME, or green Mount Zion United Methodist Church? What was the name of the first historic church in Lawnside? I gotta turn the music up. The answer, you all got it, Mount Pisgah. All right, let's see what the board looks like. And just know that the quicker you do it, the higher points you get, even though you.
I couldn't see it.
All right, Yoli's still on top. Oh, this is the same board. Y'all got to challenge these people. Come on now. Next question. Who was the first policewoman in Lawnside? Is it red, Ida B. Wells, blue, Doris Scott, yellow, Ellen Benson? Who was the first policewoman in Lawnside? Was it red, Ida B. Wells, blue, Doris Scott, or yellow, Ellen Benson? And the answer is Ellen Benson. And
What?
let's see the
No,
board.
Doris
Scott.
I'm sorry, Doris Scott. Thank you. I just want to make sure y'all was listening. That's it. And the board has moved. Salad is moving up. Tranquil Keen is on the board. So is Smart Possum. Let's do next question. What is the name of the cemetery located in Lawnside? Is it red, Camden Cemetery? Is it blue, Lawnside Roar Cemetery? Or is it yellow, Free Haven Cemetery? Or is it green, Mount Peace?
I didn't see that.
Green.
I went too fast.
Yeah.
And the answer is Mount Peace. All right, let's see what the board looks like now. Looks like Tranquil Keen is moving up and Smart Possum and Rose are moving up. Next question. What was the first alarm system for the Lawnside Fire Company? Was it red, the siren? Was it blue, the sledgehammer and hoop? Maybe it was yellow, the hoop bell. Was it green, yelling help? What was the first alarm system for the Lawnside Fire Company? And the answer is hoop bell. The sledgehammer. All right, I got that one wrong. I don't know how we got that one wrong.
I don't know.
I said sledgehammer.
Next question. Who was the Quaker abolitionist that brought land for the African Americans to live? Was it Ralph Smith for red? Was it John Brown for blue? Was it Jim Benson for yellow? Or was it the Quaker oatmeal man for green? Who was the Quaker abolitionist who brought the land for African Americans to live? Ralph Smith. Look at you guys. Got that. Uh-oh, Yoli's not trying. Oh, Tranquil Keena has taken second place. Smart Possum moving up, Bonnie and Rose. Next question. How did people on Lawnside get their mail originally? Red, home delivery. Blue, pick up at the post office. Yellow, waiting at the White Horse Pike. Or green, resident picked up in Haddonfield. How did people in Lawnside get their mail originally? Yes, a resident picked them up in Haddonfield.
Y'all gotta stop talking when she's talking. We can't hear.
Tranquil Keena is on top, followed by, Yoli's fussing because she couldn't hear and she lost first place. I'm sorry, Yoli. Y'all keep it quiet. Don't be messing up her concentration.
So does the power go out everywhere?
All right, next question. How old is the Peter Mott house? Is it 10 years for red? Is it 50 to 100 years for blue? Is it over 175 years for yellow? Or is it 2,000 years old? Oh, you guys, that was a quick question.
Why can't I see this thing on the?
Jolie has reclaimed her position. Smart Possum is moving up though, moving up. Next question. Why was Mount Peace Cemetery formed? Was it red, blacks not allowed in secular cemeteries? Was it blue, no space for people to be buried? Was it yellow, place to visit after buying Dunkin' Donuts? Why was Mount Peace Cemetery formed? And the answer was blacks not allowed in secular cemeteries. Let's look at the board. All the same is exactly the same. You guys are tough competitors here. Let's see, who was the clerk postmaster, who was once the clerk postmaster at the office? Was it red, Linda? Was it blue, Harriet Tubman? Was it yellow, Mrs. Higgs? Was it green, Ellen Benson? Who was once the clerk postmaster at the Lawnside post office? Why couldn't I get that out, Mrs. Benson? And everybody knew it was Mrs. Benson. Let's look at the board. Nobody has moved, but FCC has a streak of 3.
I don't know what's going on.
Next question.
Stop
Guys, what was the
Stop.
name of the first school in Lawnside? Freehaven for red, blue for Warwick Road School, yellow for Mount Pisgah School, green for Lawnside Public School. The name of the first school: Freehaven, Warwick Road, Mount Pisgah, or Lawnside. The name was Freehaven School for Colored Children. Don't get frustrated, y'all. This is fun. Look at the board. Uh-oh, Smart Possum and her streak, or their streak, is moving up. 6 in a row. Nice job. All right, next question. What was the name of the Medal of Honor recipient buried at Mount Peace Cemetery? Was it red, Peter Mott? Was it blue, Jacob C. White Sr.? Was it yellow, John Henry Lawson? What is the name of the Medal of Honor winner recipient buried at Mount Peace Cemetery? And the answer is John Henry Lawson. All right, let's look at the board. It stays the same. It stays the same. Smart Possum, 7 in a row. Next question. Name an important fact about Jordon Lee. Was she a doctor? Red. Was she the first AME preacher for blue? Was she born in Lawnside for yellow? Was she a policewoman for green? Name an important fact about Jordon Lee. Besides, she knew how to rock them little hats. She was the first AME female preacher. Go, Jorina. Let's look at the board. Smart Possum is like, I'm not letting this go. Next question. What was the name of the church that was formed, which broke off from Mount Pisgah AME Church? Was it red, Mount Zion? Was it blue, St. Luke's? Was it green, Grace Temple? Was it green, Masjid Free Haven? What was the name of the church that was formed, which broke off from Mount Pisgah? It was Mount Zion. Good job, y'all. Let's look at this board. Not a movement in that board. You guys are jamming. 4 of you have had a streak of 3 in a row. All right, next question. What was the name of the USS Constitution seaman buried at Mount Pisgah? Is it red, Peter Mott? Is it blue, John Brown? Is it yellow, Elisha Gator? What is the name of the USS Constitution seaman? And a lot of people don't know this. I have to actually start putting his name out there. It was Elisha Gator. Yes, a lot of people don't know. They think only 2 Black people served on the US Constitution.
Did anybody get it right?
I did.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Oh, wow.
Look at our board. Smart Possum, followed by Yoli, Rose, Salad, and FCC. Next question. Name one reason why Jacob C. White Sr. is important to the history of Lawnside. Is it red? He was a farmer. Is it blue? He knew how to rhyme. Was it yellow? He was a Quaker. Was it green? He gave land to build the first school in Lawnside. Name one reason why. Okay, you guys are quick. You're like, I got this. He gave land for $1 to build the first school. Let's look at the board. Tranquil Kina's moving up again. Smart Possum, 11 in a row. Next question. According to the map of 1844, what was the name formerly given to Moldy Road? Was it red for Shipley Street? Was it blue for Church Street? Was it yellow for Main Street?
Oh,
Was it green for US Route 295?
I hit that wrong.
What was the former name of Moldy Road? Think about what's on it.
Oh, who's that? Miss Benson? Oh, you said
Church Street, Church Street. All right, let's look at the board. Oh, Tranquil Kina moved up. Morningstar and Rose. Smart Possum still jamming the answers here. That better not be you, Muneerah. What was Lawnside Park most famous for? Was it red, the entertainment? Was it blue, the barbecue? Was it yellow, the churches? Or was it green, the shopping? What was Lawnside Park most famous for? And the answer is, you got it. Everybody knew. That's making me hungry just thinking about it. All right, let's look at the board. Exactly the same. Tranquil Kina, 3 in a row. Back in the game. Okay, last question. Who formed the American Red Cross chapter in Lawnside? Was it red, Clarence Still? Was it blue, Richard Wise? Was it yellow, Roscoe Moore? Or was it green, Rutledge Bryant? Who formed the American Red Cross chapter in Lawnside? And the answer is Dr. Roscoe Moore. Let's see the board. Now for the podium. Here's our winners. Number 3 is Morningstar. Congratulations, Morningstar. Number 2, go Yoli. Go Yoli. Number 1, y'all know who number 1 is. Who's number 1? Smart Possum. All right. And we have our runners up. We have FCC and Salad. So, Smart Possum, what would you like to get? We have Underground Railroad t-shirt, extra large and 2X. We have Juneteenth t-shirt, XL and 2X. We have Buffalo Soldiers t-shirt, XL. And then we have 4 DVDs. Underground, all of you guys winners listen, so you can tell I don't have to say this again. We have Underground season 1. We have A Haven to Freedom. We by our illustrious Mrs. Higgs. These other 2 are hers as well. Best Kept Secret and On Mount Peace. So winners, Smart Possum's first. What would you like? And who is Smart Possum?
Smart Possum is me.
Oh,
Caroline Slama.
Oh, thank you, Caroline. You just did great, Caroline. So what would you like?
Could I get the Juneteenth t-shirt?
Okay, and you could put in the chat to Mrs. Higgs directly which size you want.
Thank you.
You can actually put the whole thing, Juneteenth t-shirt and the size. Who was next, Muneerah?
Yoli?
Yoli's
two.
next. How did I forget? Yolanda, what would you like? Yolanda, you're on mute. Are you going to put it in the chat?
Juneteenth t-shirt.
Okay, so both of you guys put what you want in the chat because we want to make sure that because there's only two. So you guys, Smart Possum has to choose your size first. Could you go ahead and do that? Did you do that to Muneerah? And then Yolanda, you'll get the next one if that's okay. Who's the third place?
The third place is Morning Star.
Morning Star. What would you like? Who's Morning Star and what would you like? Morning Star. You're on mute, Morning Star. We can't hear you. Morning Star.
Hello.
Hi, what would
Yes.
you like?
I would like the Muneerah Higgs produced CDs,
Which one?
the original, the first one.
Alongside the Haven to Freedom.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Morning Star. All right, who was fourth? FCC. FCC, what would you like? Who is FCC? Hey, Sylvia.
Hello. So you have t-shirts and DVDs?
We have Underground Railroad t-shirt, XL, 2XL, Buffalo Soldier XL. No more Juneteenth left.
I'll do the Buffalo Soldier XL.
All right, and the next person who won?
I don't have another one on my paper here.
You guys remember, was it Tranquil Kina? Who was the fifth? There was two. Salad, yes,
Salad.
Marcia. What would
Yeah.
you like, Marcia?
One of the, what do you call it? One of Muneerah's DVDs.
Okay.
If you
Which one?
Nate, can you name again? I think the lady before me is getting that one of them. I don't know which
There's
one.
Best Kept Secret available and On Mount Peace.
Best Kept Secret.
All right, fantastic. You guys did excellent. Oh my gosh. And I'm sorry, we did have a couple of questions that were my fault. So we'll figure that out next time. Thank you so much. Linda, let's bring you in here to wrap this up. Linda, thank you so much for allowing me and Muneerah to do our cards on Juneteenth.
Well, thank you for putting this all together. Shamele, as I said before, thank you so much for coming up with this idea, working on the cards, putting our history first, teaching us about genealogy, and we want to do that again some more, Mrs. Higgs. We're always open and excited to have you doing instruction and making some more films if you want to.
She not gonna have time. She got too many students and too many districts to teach about Lawnside.
Exactly, and so and congratulations again on being named to the Amistad Commission curriculum in the state of New Jersey. So Muneerah Higgs will be working on curriculum for all of our students across the state and hopefully a model for across the country. We really do appreciate this. Thank you, everyone, for supporting.
Yes, thank you guys for coming.
To our web manager and
thank you, Natasha. Everyone say thank you to Natasha
for all of your help. We're going to be doing more things. We're going to be doing things online, and we're in the process of trying to determine how and when to reopen the Peter Mott House. But look for us in October to be doing some things. We're going to dedicate those signs. We have National Register markers on the lawn, and we're moving forward to raise $95,000 for Peter Mott House repairs. So we'll be out